Picture this: molten rock versus mythic dragon. An admiral whose punches melt islands against a creature Oda literally calls the strongest creature. Two absolute monsters. Two entirely different kinds of destruction. Akainu's magma is pure annihilation, cold, surgical, and relentless. It melts steel, reshapes terrain, and erases whatever stands in its path. Kaido's dragon is a walking natural disaster. Wind blades that slice the air, lightning that rends the sky, flame clouds that lift islands, and a zone body so absurdly durable, the world itself has tried and failed to kill him. Which of these apex tier tools beats the other in a straight fight? I'm arguing Kaido, and I'm going to lay out the receipts: physicals, speed, fruit interactions, haki, stamina, and crucial scaling feats that make the difference. Akainu, fleet admiral level destructive output. Magu Magu no Mi makes him a living volcano with Logia intangibility and surgical offensive saturation. He's a cold, calculated killer who weaponizes heat to manipulate terrain and extract victory. Kaido, the strongest creature. Mythical Zoan with flame cloud flight, elemental breath, hybrid and full dragon forms, titanic durability, and conqueror's haki that literally reshapes engagements. He can pick up and move a castle island and drop it where he wants. Rules of engagement. Neutral battlefield. No outside gimmicks. Both fighters are in character and serious. This is a direct, honest clash. Category 1. Physical strength and raw force. Kaido's physicals are absurd on sight. When he swings a kanabo, it's not a punch, it's an event. Yonko-grade fighters are sent flying, landscapes fracture, and the shockwaves don't just bruise, they rearrange the fight. Kaido sank massive prison ships, matched Odin decades ago in pure violence, and manifests hybrid form raw muscle into concentrated devastation. Full Dragon Kaido trades precision for area control and sheer destructive footprint. Akainu is physically elite for an admiral. He can trade blows with the absolute hardest hitters and keep going. But his physical expression is focused through magma. His fists are siege weapons that incinerate and cut. That's different to Kaido's blunt, mass-delivering force. Akainu's best tools are temperature and pressure. Kaido's are mass, weight, and unrelenting blunt trauma. When you turn a fight into a scale of weight versus heat, the mountain, Kaido, beats the volcano in blunt force. Kaido's baseline mass and direct crushing capability outclass a human-shaped admiral. Verdict: Kaido has the advantage. Category 2. Speed and mobility. Akainu moves like an admiral, fast, precise, and capable of covering ground with magma strikes. He zones and pressures. His magma jets and eruptions force opponents into predictable movement. But magma is powerful and predictable. It moves, spreads, and you can react to its vectors. Kaido's mobility completely changes the fight. His dragon form doesn't just give him range, it gives vertical dominance. Flame cloud flight allows Kaido to arrest altitude, reposition instantly, and rain down elemental punishment from angles Akainu must constantly correct for. Wind blades and lightning add speed to his long-range toolkit. Pair that up with his observation haki, and he's unstoppable. Kaido can change the geometry of engagement faster than magma can reshape terrain. Verdict: Kaido has the edge. Vertical control wins here. Category 3. Devil fruit interactions and elemental dynamics. This is the core: magma versus dragonfire. On paper, it sounds even. In practice, it's not. Akainu's magma is not regular fire. It's molten annihilation. It melts steel, consumes normal fire, and has a lethal single-strike ceiling. He's the kind of weapon that punished Ace and scarred the battlefield at Marineford. That's raw, credible damage. Kaido's flames, however, are part of a mythical Zoan physiology. They're not just heat, they're an elemental output integrated into his very body. Kaido constantly generates extreme heat and is unfazed by it. He surrounds himself with magma-like flames and emerges unhurt. Flame clouds lift islands. This isn't pyrotechnics, it's battlefield engineering. For Akainu's magma to decisively finish Kaido, it has to bypass armament haki, break dragon scales, and beat Kaido's tolerance for extreme heat. That's not impossible, but it's a very different problem than burning a human or melting a ship. Kaido can do two things that drastically reduce magma's effectiveness: control the engagement range and apply Conqueror's haki-coded physicals to turn the fight into a slugfest. Once the clash becomes physical and haki-saturated, Akainu's Logia intangibility stops saving him, and magma becomes a complementary tool rather than a guaranteed win condition. Verdict: Kaido has the edge. Magma is deadly, but Kaido's elemental suite and natural heat tolerance mean magma doesn't auto-win. Category 4. Haki and Hax. Akainu is a serious armament haki user. He'll coat magma with haki, force physical contact situations, and turn every strike into a killing intent. Efficient and lethal, that's his haki play. Kaido's haki, though, is on another level. He wields advanced armament, advanced observation, and Conqueror's haki in a way that warps engagements. Kaido's Conqueror's haki is not a one-off. It's a sustained field control tool. When it's added to his immense physicality and Zoan HP pool, Kaido can take haki-buried hits and still press forward with shockingly lethal follow-ups. moves. If Kaido lands Conqueror-enhanced heavy hits, Akainu gets overloaded by blunt trauma and Haki pressure. In essence, Akainu's Haki lets him strike. Kaido's Haki makes those strikes matter less and makes Kaido's strikes catastrophic. Verdict: big edge to Kaido. Category 5. Battle IQ, tactical depth, and stamina. Akainu is a methodical monster. He controls terrain, denies escape, and makes fights into kill zones. He wins through punishing efficiency and ruthless zoning. Kaido's playbook is battlefield engineering, lifting and moving islands, generating storms, and using flame cloud flight to reorient an entire engagement. That's not brute force alone, that's strategic shaping. Kaido forces opponents to fight on his terms. Stamina separates them. Akainu is resilient and relentless, but human-shaped. Kaido is built to endure absurd punishment. He's survived execution attempts, non-stop battles, and the wear of decades. In a prolonged war of attrition, Kaido literally outlasts top-tier humans and Logia users. Verdict: Kaido advantage. Feats and relative scaling are crucial because raw claims without context can mislead. First, Akainu's most famous Marineford exchange was with Whitebeard. Important nuance: that Whitebeard was an old, sick, dying titan. He couldn't consistently use Haki, his body was failing, and he was far from prime. Akainu went extreme diff against him, an old, sick Whitebeard who also had multiple injuries, by the way. And yes, Akainu did severe damage and demonstrated monstrous offense, but the opponent was not the Whitebeard of his peak. The fight showed Akainu's capacity to fight the strongest legacy figures and endure, but it did not show him steamrolling a peak immortal legend. Now look at Kuzan. Kuzan fought Garp in Hachinosu. It's reasonable to use Kuzan as a calibration point. He and Akainu fought for days and were treated as near equals in that war of attrition. Kuzan's modern feats against an aged Garp tell us where the strong Admiral baseline sits. Kuzan pushed old Garp and had to endure as well. He didn't obliterate him instantly. That suggests the Admiral level top tier clusters around that tense mutual destruction zone. If Akainu is roughly in that neighborhood of power, tempered by sustained 10-day battles, high-level Haki, and Magma's destructive ceiling, then we can place Akainu near Kuzan's tier post-time skip. Kuzan was relative to old Garp. Akainu is somewhat equal to Kuzan, but Kaido sits several notches above old Garp. Kaido's sustained dominance, ability to reshape whole environments, and raw durability outstrip what even a decorated old Garp can do. In plain terms, Akainu fought and survived against legends who were not at full prime. His feats are terrifying, but they're not the same scale as surviving and rewriting battles at the level Kaido operates. That gap is the decisive lever in this matchup. Akainu's best wins come from exploiting openings, capitalizing on weakened opponents, and executing surgical devastation. He shines when enemies can be pinned, melted, and denied recovery. Even if Akainu lands monstrous magma strikes, Kaido's Zoan endurance and Conqueror-infused follow-ups turn the exchange into a trade that favors the dragon. Akainu can injure Kaido, absolutely. He can burn him, he can carve into scale, and he can erase chunks of the field. But overwhelming Kaido, the mountain that laughs at magma, requires more than fire. It requires a systemic edge Kaido doesn't hand over. Instant arrest of motion, denial of flight, or a sustained one-shot that the Admiral simply doesn't demonstrably possess against a living, breathing dragon deity. In terms of elemental synergy and resistance, Akainu's magma is brutal and efficient, but Kaido's dragon physiology and flame cloud tech blunt magma's decisive effect. Kaido tolerates extreme heat as part of his baseline. In terms of field control, the flame cloud flight and island-level manipulation aren't theater, they're strategic weapons. Kaido dictates altitude, weather, and terrain, and that makes magma reactive, not proactive. In terms of durability and Haki supremacy, Kaido's Zoan durability plus Conqueror's Haki turns Haki-buried hits into survivable events and converts the fight into one of attrition and dominance, not quick execution. Bottom line, Akainu is catastrophic, magma that erases whatever it touches, but Kaido is the force the battlefield is built around. Kaido's elemental resistance, island-level control, and obscene durability turn magma from a guaranteed finisher into just another problem to solve. In a straight, honest fight where both fight to win, Kaido outlasts, outmaneuvers, and outpunches the Admiral. Kaido wins, plain and simple. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.